we do for our course KNR 2753 Computer System Architecture. So it will be divided into two parts for my part lah. The first one will be brief introduction of what are alternative assessments, which I compiled from the internet. And the second one will be the actual questions, which I will share with everyone later. Okay, alternative assessments for engineering. Okay, what is alternative assessment? This is a method of evaluation that measures the student's level of proficiency in a subject as opposed to the student's levels of knowledge. Now, this is very difficult for us to gauge, especially in engineering, because in my course, the content is very theoretical. So we usually, in normal exams, we do evaluate the student's level of knowledge. For this particular, during the pandemic, we have no choice but to adopt alternative assessments, because if we go back to the final exam questions, it will be very easy for the students to Google the answers during the exam, or for them to copy from their friends. Students' level of proficiency. So this alternative assessment is also called performance test or authentic assessments, because it is deeply rooted in the one's ability to do something. Kalau kita minta student untuk menyanyi, kalau FGK is easier. But for us, they have to demonstrate their knowledge. Alright, so traditional assessments versus alternative assessments. The traditional assessment requires the right answer. Alternative assessment can be many answers, but there's no one right answer. The questions must be known to the students in advance in traditional assessment. In alternative assessments, you can give the students beforehand to the students. The tasks are to be judged, to be known ahead of time. Rubrics should also be provided. Okay, so usually alternative assessments, dia memang pakai rubrik. Dia jarang ada specific answer scheme. That is for alternative assessments. Now, I know the practice of some other departments, they have this specific answer for alternative assessments. Since I'm not the expert, I cannot say that it is inaccurate or cannot be adopted, but to be safer, you must also provide a rubric. Okay, traditional assessment sometimes can be disconnected from real world, sometimes, but alternative assessment is usually tied to real world context and constraints and requires students to solve realistic problems. Task is similar in nature as to what will be accounted by a real life practitioner. In traditional assessments, they focus on facts. Alternative assessment, they will need to do a lot of reading, they will need to analyze what they have read, and then decipher the information from whatever it is that they have read. Traditional assessment is easily scored. Alternative assessment include complex tasks for which there may not be a right answer. Traditional assessment, one-shot approach, whereas for alternative assessment, it's iterative in nature, meaning that if your first answer is not good, you have a duration of 2 weeks, for example, for you to improve your answer, right? So this one, traditional assessment, given a score. But alternative assessment, this one, I don't give diagnostic feedback lah, because I treat it like a final exam, so I don't give it feedback, right? So here are some additional useful questions to ask yourself when you are deciding on what assessments to choose. Can the students apply that knowledge? Is it the product or is it the process that you want to evaluate? And what thinking skills that you want the students to demonstrate? Is it tied to the learning outcomes? And what is the level? Is it C3, C4, C5? Mostly for my questions, we put C4 and a little bit of C5. At times, specific constraints important. Huh? Okay. So planning alternative assignments. Define a concrete and ambiguous instructional outcome goal that you want to assess. So the question must be very clear what you want them to do. Make sure you include both subject matter content and a set of skills operation that a successful student would exhibit. So this one would be clear in the rubrics. What do you want the students to exhibit? Define what can be assessed through performance assessment or what can be assessed through objective performance measures. Create task assignments that elicit this behavior. Decide what kind of guidance you can provide while still allowing students to learn independently. So this kind of guidance can also be inside the rubric sometimes. So these are examples of alternative assessments, portfolios, case studies, simulations, briefs, report summaries, poster presentations, performance tests, interviews, flipped classroom, building a model. So in my questions, we have a little bit of case studies, reports, and building a model. Advantages of alternative assessments. They give knowledge to real-life situations and solve practical problems. It is also an effective method to evaluate students' problem-solving skills. Alternative assessment encourages learners to step out of the comfort zones and think outside the box. Students learn to think, analyze, apply the knowledge to create solutions to different problems. Before to go to rubrics, let me show you our questions for the one that we adopt in our class. Can you guys see this? All right. This one, if we take a look at the course plan, question 1 is tied to CO1. Question 2 is CO2. There's 2 questions for CO2, 25 marks, 15 plus 10 marks. So it is Q1, Q2A, and Q2B. The thing is, with Q1 and Q2, both questions, we do include some portions of the lecture notes inside. So the students are not totally unfamiliar with the subject matter. For example, Q1, this one is related to computer architecture. Q2 is operating systems. So this is the tied to the course plan. So for the first question, cloud computing is a type of internet-based computing that provides shared computer processing resources and data to computers and other devices on demand. Consider yourself as a consultant advising a small startup which intends to fully utilize cloud computing as platform. Assess the feasibility of the startup utilizing cloud computing by meriting factors influencing their decision. Evaluate the benefits, risks, and consequences which comes with integrating cloud computing as their platform. This one is 25 marks. Let's take a look at the rubric. This is question 1 is from Dr. Kismet. This is the rubric that we employed for question 1. Originality, we give 30 marks. Description of the startup, which means that you cannot just simply say, oh, I want to adopt cloud computing. You must have a description of the startup. The student must think of a business model that they want to employ for their proposal since they are working as consultants. So this one is 20 marks. Factors influencing decisions to adopt cloud computing, 30 marks. This is what do you call it? Let's say the students say, oh, I want to create a model such as Mudah or Shopee or Lazada. So they must have a description of the startup. They must have the factors influencing the decisions to adopt the cloud computing. Let's say I want to sell a stall selling pisang goreng or jual burger. Is it cost effective for them to adopt cloud computing? Or is it better for them just to use any online portal that is existing and they can just log in as a user? So these are complicated things that they have to think about. Choosing a startup is not that easy. They cannot just simply say, oh, I want to follow mudah.com. I want to follow lazada.com. They must think of how it works. The feasibility of integrating cloud computing. Is it better for them to have standalone systems? For example, they want to do cyber cafe. Perlu ke cloud computing? Mungkin tak perlu. So they need to check the feasibility of integrating cloud computing. This one is easier for them to score. So there are difficult questions. These are difficult questions. It needs originality from the student. Factors juga penting. It cannot just simply write based on nothing or just copy and paste pun tak boleh juga. Feasibility pun tak boleh juga. Cloud platform types and services, this one, it depends on what they read and how comprehensive is their reading. So this one, they can still score on this one. So it's a mix of difficult and not too difficult questions. Benefits and disadvantages in relation to the startup. Risks and consequences. Threats and security issues, still boleh score. Cost and infrastructure. This one is related to their startup as well. So a realistic example of a similar model as reference. So total is 25 marks, 250. Right. If you see this one, mentions of description of the startup but no details provided, I give 0. So saya agak kejam sedikit lah. I know that some people, they like to put no mentions of description of the startup. So immediately 0, student tulis sikit, immediately dapat 1. So darab 20 adalah 20 markah, betul? Some people, they are very generous with the students. So in this case, if you see basic factors for adopting cloud computing included, no further reasons included, I give 0. So this is to avoid giving them automatically 1, which is why I put this one. Later, I will show you the various student samples reports for us to see how much they score for these questions. For question 1, saya tak ada sample question sebab this one is from Dr. Kismet, but I will show you the sample for question 2A and 2B. Let's take a look at question 2A. If you have any questions, you can just stop me and ask. Okay, the central processing unit, CPU, is the heart of the computer system, whereby the resources of the CPU must be managed well for it to run most efficiently. Scheduling algorithms are utilized to manage the processes to be executed the CPU, distributing and allocating time for processes and selecting which programs to be executed in order. Consider a system with 10 processes. Now, this one is totally up to the students, the 10 processes. Discuss the criteria for scheduling, showcase different scheduling algorithms, complete with process examples. Include scenarios of starvation and aging. Prepare a full technical report for the scheduling algorithms. This one is 15 marks. Let's take a look at the rubric. Originality 30. Kalau dia cara dia menulis totally different dengan kawan-kawan dia, I'll give it, the person 30 marks. Criteria for scheduling algorithm, this one is very easy for them to score because this one is based on what they read. Showcase of different algorithm, scheduling algorithms, this one pun masih boleh score full 20 marks, it's quite easy. Process examples, ini sangat susah. If they don't understand the process examples from the different scheduling algorithms, and the 10 processes examples that they choose, they will not be able to show these process examples. Starvation and aging also 30. If they don't understand exactly what's going on with these process examples, scheduling algorithms, they will not be able to score this one. So ini yang menyebabkan soalan student susah untuk dapat full 15 marks. Usually, paling highest pun they will score 12 marks sahaja. It's not easy for them to score on this part. So technical report presentation, I give 20 marks. Let's take a look at the student answers. So this one is the high question. Right, so report dia, so this one they get full criteria ni, dia bagi dapat full 20 marks. Ada different showcase of scheduling algorithms, first come, first serve, shortest job, practice scheduling, Tapi contents ni semua lain-lain lah. Walaupun they put this one, so they will get 20 marks for the showcase, but they will not get the 30 marks for the process examples if they don't properly know what they are doing. Right, so this one get a full mark, 20 plus 30. Starvation and aging, dia dapat 20 saja out of 30. So technical report and originality dapat 20, 20. So this one is the good example, the high example. Let's take a look at the low example. If you don't read, you will not be able to answer this question. If you don't understand, you will not be able to understand to score in this question as well. Criteria of scheduling algorithm dapat 20, starvation and aging dapat 5. So dia tak faham, dia tak boleh nak do the process and do the showcase of different scheduling algorithm. So 25 saja dia dapat. Oh, ini ada sikit 5 saja, tapi dia tak bagi tahu the process lah. So it's only 5. Report saya bagi 10, originally 10. So in total dia dapat 10, 10, 30, 35, 40, 60 daripada 150, which is half the mark. Let's take a look at another example. Zero, and I give him 5 for submission. This 5 is out of 150. Ya. Saya bagi submission sebab saya tak mau dia kosong semua, sebab saya kesian. Dalam saya kejam saya ada kesian lagi, tapi this student fail lah, and not many students scored. It's a really bell curve lah in my questions in our course lah, because the students, they are a bit difficult for them to score in the 3 level, and many of them scored in between N0 and 1, and some of them in N2. Okay, let's take a look at the third question, last question. Assume you're tasked with designing computer network for new business setup, state the nature of business, and decide on the following consideration of plans. This one requires the student to set up a layout, full networking layout for a business. So this one is different from number 1. This one includes network topologies, OS requirements, security, and financial implications. In this one, in Q2B, this one is a total of 10 marks. Network topology, they has many types of network topologies. So they must know which one they want to use for their business setup. So they have to put some of materials. So compared to the Q1 and Q2, this one is slightly easier for them to score. So not all of my questions are difficult, but it requires a lot of reading and requires a lot of understanding what they read. Let's take a look at the samples of the students' answers. So this student, dia bagi objektif, so saya bagi tapi tak ada markah. Originally 10, report only 5. So 15 out of 100 marks. The one, Ashwin. So this one memang case of copy paste lah. Dia tak faham langsung, dia copy paste saja. So everything is 0 lah untuk dia. I give 5 for submission only. So given 2 weeks for them to clear 3 questions, pun is not many of the students, only around 3/4 or maybe half yang properly submit the questions lah. The others memang dia tak baca, dia tak do enough reading, no background studies, so they were not able to prepare a full report for their alternative assessments. So for rubrics are scoring tools that describe performance expectation for students as set out by the instructor. They can be used for all type of assignments, description of the assignment, criteria that will be assessed. This one is the one that we have just shown just now. Description of what is expected, performance levels. Okay. Creating a rubric, develop clear definition of the purpose of assessment task and its goals, define the assignment criteria. You can base this on learning outcomes and goals. Okay, define the scale, provide the description of each level, test the rubric and revise it as necessary. This one I think is very important because if you're not careful, you put no at the beginning of 0 and you put 1, the students will automatically be in the bell curve. And if you're not careful, just by putting satu ayat pun dia akan dapat 1 darab 30 markah, 1 darab 20 markah, and immediately they will get half of the marks. So I think it is very necessary for us to test the rubric first. And if possible, and if there is a CQI that I need to do, I will probably not put n equals 0, n equal 1, n equal 2, n equal 3. I will probably put a range. That will be my CQI for the next session. Because there is nowhere that is stated that you cannot put a range to the rubrics. So this one is the last slide. Take great steps when doing alternative assessment. Identify the learning outcomes. It must be tied to the learning outcomes. And in our case, we do mention the scheduling algorithms, the cloud computing, the setup and network topologies in the class. So the students is not totally unfamiliar with what, not totally out of the box that they have never encountered it before. Think of interesting alternative ways to assess. Think of the most disadvantage. We have to adopt this because we cannot do synchronous exams for the students. And also because the content matter of the course is very easy for them to copy from each other. Reliability and validity. This one, they cannot copy from each other. The answers should all be unique as well. So begin with the end in mind. Okay, think of the instruction. So the instruction must be very clear. So this one is the example. This one is the references. So I'm up for question and answers, or if you want to see the rubrics again, this one salah. If you want to see the rubrics again, kita boleh share the rubrics lah. Okay, let's take a look at the rubric again. Okay. As you can see, most the general are usually in number 1 that we put for this course. Detail is 2, comprehensive, concise, extra justifications is on a high level. Not many students can score 3. Not many students can score 3. They're either 1 or 2 or 0. Kalau saya put 5 pun, it is less than. It's in between N0 and N1. I don't give them automatically 1 for 30 marks. So process examples as well. Superficially mentioned is the 0. Process examples very basic without taking much into consideration for the criteria of scheduling is the 0. So the rubric is agak kejam sedikit lah. Okay, so I think that's it for the sharing session. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Nordiana, for your sharing. Okay, saya nak tahu how many students for this course, Doctor?
100, nearly 120.
120, wow.
Yes,
Quite
nearly
a lot.
120.
And
so we have to
every
assess
student,
120 students, including
120, meaning dia 120 report lah, ya.
120 times 3 reports.
Three report for three problem, right?
Underestimate
Three question.
Q1, saya Q2 lah. Q2A and Q2B.
Okay.
So
How long actually for the assessment you give time to the student to complete the
we
report?
gave them all 3 questions, 2 weeks, in week 13 and week 14. Or is it week 12 to week 13 kah? Tapi 2 weeks lah duration dia.
Oh,
From
2 minggu.
Saturday to Sunday. The next
I
week.
see.
Yes.
And all of the format template you give to the student lah.
Rubric
report.
dengan question we semua sekali bagi kepada student. We inform them what they need to do, and still not too many of them excel actually. They are still some of them are still struggling, and many of them are average, moderate. So it was a very good bell curve for us. Many scoring B plus, B minus, and C, a lot of C's as well.
Okay. How about fail? Is there any fail?
Ada A.
Failure.
Ada A.
Ada gagal.
Yeah.
Ada.
Rubric
Okay.
need to be mapped to CO by Dr. Dayang Nur Salmi. Since our question was mapped to the CO, the whole rubric was mapped to the CO. Question 1 mapped to CO1, so the seluruh rubric 1 mapped to CO.
Okay.
CO1.
See.
So it's
So,
very easy for us to map it in the my mark and everything. Satu question tu terus pada CO1 sebab contents dia daripada lectures yang tied to CO1.
So meaning this alternative assessment to replace the kita punya konvensional lah, if we can say like that, our final exam, right?
For example, kalau dalam conventional exam dia tanya, okay, what type of network topologies yang ada? What are the advantages of the network topologies? How would you arrange the network topologies in terms of the advantages and disadvantages? So we cannot put such questions for during this online teaching lah. So what we do is we ask the student to set up. Let's say you want to design a cyber cafe in a 2-story building. 2-story building, it's up to you to set up how many PCs you want, or you want to use internet Wi-Fi, or you want to use cable LAN, and then how you want to set up, how many routers you want to use. Do you need a firewall? Do you need login to your cyber cafe? All the security measures. What type of OS you want? You want to use Linux because it was free. You want to use Microsoft, then you need to have more money to purchase the license. So not that simple actually if you really put thought into it.
I see.
And boleh guna range decimal point. Last time ada orang madasib boleh guna decimal point. Preferably no decimal point, but for my own opinion, I would put a range terus. 0 hingga 10, 11 sampai 20. Sebab saya cari dia tak ada kata kita tak boleh guna range. I couldn't find a statement saying that it's not suitable. So I've seen a few samples with range. So instead of decimal point, I think it's better for us to use range. Ataupun kita increase lagi N4, N5, tapi sakit sikit nak tulis dia punya description lah kan.
Yalah, okay.
Yalah.
Jadi this alternative assessment actually dia represent apa ni? In term of the total mark tu dia contribute yang 50%.
Full 50%.
50.
Question 1 25, question 2 25, full 50%.
50%. So for the total mark, actually another 50% come from dari mana?
Test and assignment. Quiz.
Oh, test tetap. Test masih konvensional.
Test,
take home.
Test online. Kami buat
test online. Oh,
test
okay.
Tapi
two test lah. 2 test.
Webex, Webex.
Test
Tapi
1, test 2.
for this coming session, a bit of problems about around 13 students kata susah nak guna Synchronous. So we have to think of how we want to do CSA lagi.
Connection problem.
And then because the last time it was less than 10 students. So what we did was we actually sponsor some of the students lah, yang mana-mana yang sangat teruk, we actually sponsor them for internet connections. That's one thing. The second thing is because it was less than 10, it was very easy for us to, yang lain yang semua boleh synchronous, semua synchronous. Yang kata, okay, we cannot have synchronous, but when we call them up, do you have internet line? Do you have Wi-Fi at home? Yes, they have. Cuma dia kata tak stabil. Oh, tak apa. On saja. What saja synchronous. Kalau dia ada tanda warna kuning segitiga tu, at least it is recorded as kuning segitiga lah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nordiana. So, meaning with 50% from alternative assessment, test 1, test 2, total 30%, 30. 20. So, another 30 from assignment.
Macam tu lah. And the others is from quiz lah. Quiz assignment. Quiz. Because CSA dia ada 10 for test 1, 10 for test 2, assignment 1, 10, assignment 2, 10, and they have this group assignment. Group assignment is oral presentation.
Okay. I mean another assignment also you make something like report like this or just.
Okay, the third assignment, which is tied to CLO3, investigate current trends in CSA. This one is they have to do. They are in a group of 4 or 5 students.
Okay.
They have to do at least 2 meetings, recorded meetings. They must submit.
Okay.
So 1 meeting is 2 marks. So 2 meetings is 4 marks. So remaining 6 marks is from the LLL lifelong learning rubric, and we score them based on the PowerPoint slides presentation.
Okay.
Presentation. They can do videos. They can do just reading of the PowerPoint slides, but the score markah kurang sikit lah. So they have to turn on their Webex or MS Team and they record it and they submit it. So this one is the last assignment.
Okay. So they have 3 assignment, 2 tests, and then another assessment 50%. So for this course, how many lecturers, Doctor?
Saya dan Dr. Kismet sahaja, 2 orang.
Oh, 2 orang. Okay.
So dia first half, saya second half lah.
Okay, alright, thank you. Okay, hopefully we can also think about our course also could be like Nordiana.
Sebab kalau especially question 1 saya susah sikit nak komen sebab tu under Dr. Kismet. Kalau question 2, question 2A, question 2B, we memang suruh student tu fikir. Dia kalau copy paste memang tak dapat jawab. Copy paste dia jawab, dia ambil daripada mana-mana internet, memang dia tak boleh jawab. Memang dia tak will not be able to score lah.
Kena memang student tu kena understand first lah, right?
A lot of reading and they have to think. Contohnya dia nak buat Asia punya website. The company lah, dia consultant buat Asia, dia nak buat website. Contohnya guna cloud computing for sharing of resources. Contoh macam Food Panda ke apa ke kan. So dia kena fikir. Dia tak boleh kata saya nak buat macam ni. Ambil saja, tak boleh. It will not correlate lah.
During the time given for them to complete their alternative assessment, did you open or attend if somebody ask you macam mana tu, adakah? Mungkin ada student.
Ada. They did ask about especially question Q8, Q2A. Dia orang tersasar sedikit. Dia ingat it was operating scheduling algorithms. Dia ingat scheduling algorithm benda lain. So cakap no. It is from this particular module inside the lecture. So, okay, dia orang sedar lah. Okay. Now they know what to do lah. Ada.
Jadi sempat inilah masih ada masa lagi.
Boleh. Kita orang ada Telegram group. So we have discussions
there lah.
Telegram group for the students because students sekarang WhatsApp was not enough lah.
Yalah, I see. Yalah, in terms of the data and everything is better in Telegram lah. It can
Okay, thank you Dr. Teh.
Mhm.
Dr. Teh cakap dia ada meeting at 2:45 with FYP students.
Okay. Thank you,
Alright,
Dr. Teh,
so,
for your
alright,
joining.
thank you Dr.
Okay,
Teh.
is there maybe from others who would like to ask Dr. Nordiana regarding alternative assessment in engineering?
Ataupun ada sesiapa nak share their
Ya,
experience?
boleh juga mungkin
Boleh
ada
juga.
different
Kita boleh bincang
type
sama-sama.
of alternative assessment. Macamnya Dr. Hisham ni, saya tengok ni.
Selalunya saya nampak yang lain lah, saya nampak rubrik-rubrik yang lain, dia orang start dengan no. And they put only N1, N2, N0, N1, N2, N3.
Oh,
So
okay.
three columns only ataupun 4 columns and they start dengan no. So
That's why
immediately
tadi Dr.
senang
Nordiana
dapat.
ada bagi satu lah.
So kadang-kadang kita mungkin pensyarah dia tak sampai hati nak letak 0 lah. So immediately automatically the student will
Tapi
get 1
kita
lah.
kena inilah tricky
Dr. Jana,
dekat
hello.
wajaran dia tu.
Ya. Siapa yang bertanya tu?
Yang me, Dr. Tengku. Assalamualaikum.
Dr. Tengku.
This is regarding the range. Can you explain about the range on the rubric? Boleh give one example?
Okay, so far I have only used N1, N0, N1, N2, N3. Saya rasa untuk CQI saya sendiri ya, CQI saya sendiri saya nak letak range for my course. Sebab saya cari dekat mana-mana dia kata tak ada pun tak boleh letak range. Okay, cuma nanti mungkin a bit difficult for us to explain lah between 0 to 10 tu kenapa ada yang dapat 5, kenapa dapat 8. Tapi it's easier for me lah, sebab saya boleh split it into 3 other portions or 2 other portions. Saya bagi 5, saya bagi 10 for the one column. For me lah, for me.
Rubric,
CQI saya sendiri.
Rubric tu, by the way, the rubric tu we can put like 2, like for example, 2.1 until 3 ke, boleh ke? Or ikut dia aja kan, yang instead of n equal to 3,
ini N0 kan?
2.1 until 3.
Contohnya, okay, saya share screen sekejap ya. Okay, saya share screen sekejap. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay. Kita cari yang, okay. Risk and consequences. Minimal risk ni 0. Consequences are highlighted in write-up. Major adoption from internet sources. So, I give 0 lah. Acceptable risks and consequences are presented in write-up, but most are general observations. So, saya bagi 1 lah. Acceptable observations and risks and consequences of adopting, integrating marketing cloud computing for particular startup are included. This one is related kepada dia punya startup, saya bagi 2. Critical observations on the risks and consequences directly related to particular startup is included in write-up. Personal yet insightful deliverables specific to startup are provided. So saya bagi yang ni 3 lah. Tapi contohnya kalau saya nak bagi 0 to 10 kan, dia ada tulis, tapi dia mungkin tulis 1 baris saja, 2 baris saja. Macam contoh yang saya bagi student Colin ni kan, Colin. Nak kata dia tak ada tulis langsung, dia tulis, tapi dia tulis satu ayat sahaja. Sekejap ah. Okay, contohnya kan, this question asks them to model ataupun to set up network layout for a business. So dia nak buat cyber cafe. The number of nodes depend on how many computers that we wish to set up in the shop. This one is of course lah kan, tapi dia tak bagi tahu berapa. So among the components that we need to set up this computer network is network computer themselves, softwares and routers. Nak kata dia tak jawab, dia jawab, tapi it's very general. So saya bagi ini sahaja, 10 dan report 5 sahaja. Ini saja yang saya bagi ke dia. Dia ada tulis, cuma dia tak sampai 1 lah apa yang dia tulis tu. For OS requirements, saya berkata kan this is very general lah. Saya tak mau bagi dia 1 pun even for this. So I think that if I put a range, I think if I put a range, it'll be easier for me lah. Sebab 10 dengan 5 tu kalau tengok saya punya rubrik ya. Kalau tengok saya punya rubrik. Kalau saya tengok saya punya rubrik 1.25. Kalau saya bagi 1, automatically dia dapat 25. Saya tak mau bagi dia 25 pun. So kalau saya buat range dekat sini for my own CQI dalam kursus saya kemudian, saya boleh bagilah. Saya nak bagi 5 ke instead of full 25.
We don't have to state dalam rubrik lah yang tu range tu tak perlu state
Kalau nak letak boleh letak dekat sini lagi. This one kan ada 2 components of it. Minimal risk, consequences, highlighted in write up. Kalau dia ada minimal risk tapi dia tak bagi tahu consequences, so saya boleh bagi dia 3. 3 out of 10 lah kalau saya buat 0 to 10 dekat sini kan. Major adoption from internet resources. Nanti saya tak bagi markah lah. This is my own CQI lah. Saya nak buat macam tu sebab in the end saya kesian, saya bagi dia 5 markah. 5. So kalau dia dapat ini, dia dapat 25. Dia tak dapat 25 pun. Dia dapat not exactly 0, dia dapat 5 saja. 5 out of 25 dia tertengku, dia memang tak lepas tertengku. Saya bagi jangan bagi kosong je. Jangan terlalu kejam saya bagi kosong. Tapi it's not even 25.
Thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tengku. Ada siapa lagi yang ingin sharing atau soalan untuk Dr. Nordiana related to alternative assessment in engineering?
Ini just sharing session lah sebab saya pun baru juga adopt this alternative assessment. So I'm not exactly the expert in this and I'm not exactly good in the rubrics as well. Cuma apa yang saya ada, saya pernah employ, saya just share in this session lah.
It's very good, Nordiana. To apa istilahnya, to share with us lah, particularly me, I never to do alternative assessment. So maybe later I try to consult you again lah related this matter.
Boleh. Ada sesiapa nak tanya soalan ataupun sharing lagi?
Tadi Dr. Maimun dekat chat tu dah di address belum? In rubrik
Sudah.
boleh
Decimal
guna
point.
Decimal boleh?
Decimal point. Saya tak berani nak cakap tak boleh. Kalau saya guna range terus. Ini for my own CQI lah.
Okay. Alright. Tak ada lagi?
Sebab in the end kalau decimal pun nanti dia akan dia akan calculate dengan yang belakang tu kan. So alang-alang kalau saya buat range terus lah. Cuma nanti susah lah nak differentiate 4 dengan 5. So might as well macam 0 to 10. Between 5 to 10 tu mungkin senang sikit kita nak differentiate. Kalau 3 dengan 2, tu susah lah. Nanti kita sakit. Kita sendiri yang sakit nak explain kenapa ada 2, ada 3. Unless if we can properly tip dekat mana dia dapat 2, dekat mana dia dapat 3 lah. In the hundreds of reports that you need to read lah.
Baik. Okay.
Total students nearly 120. So itulah.
Yalah, ini
have to detect whether dia ada sama ke tidak dengan geng-geng dia. Selalunya tak sama lah. Selalunya ada lah yang kami jumpa. Ada yang kami jumpa yang similar, so we minus marks. Tapi tak ramai. Dalam satu grup tu ada 5 orang yang lebih kurang sikit. So we minus all the marks. Tapi dia tak adalah exactly the same. Cuma cara berfikir dan cara dia mengolah, dia tukar sikit-sikit. Tapi contohnya kawan dia pakai TMNet untuk set up dia punya cyber cafe tu tadi kan. Seorang tu dia pakai Maxis. Yang tu kita orang potong markah lah.
Minus potong tu daripada total mark atau dari yang
originality.
Originality, okay. Okay, I see. Thank you. Okay. Is there any other question or comment or sharing from colleagues?
Harap second sem kita semua full physical exam sah.
Iya, harap-haraplah.
Harap lah.
Dah rindu.
Saya pun tak sabar.
Iya. Baiklah mungkin Dr. Nordiana.
Okay, alright. Kalau tak ada apa-apa lagi.
Okay. Terima kasih banyak.
I think I did submit the samples for the AA and the rubrics in an email before lah. Kalau ada
Okay.
informasi yang mahu lagi, kami boleh
Okay.
extend lah.
Baik.
Alright, thank
Okay,
you.
for information for other, actually Dr. Nordiana already shared in our email, in our UNIMAS email about the alternative assessment in engineering. Thank you again, Dr. Nordiana, for your
Alright, thank
sharing. It's
you.
very useful,
Alright.
informative for us to prepare our course. Thank you again. Now we would like to proceed with the second speaker. Dr. Hafizah Abdul Halim Yun will be presented regarding interactive of engaging synchronous online teaching approach in eLEAP. Dr. Hafizah also is our COM, e-learning coordinator, and I believe beliau dah sangat expert in this topic. So kita sangat bertuah lah akan mendapat very significant information from her. Dr. Hafizah, could you already? Boleh?
Okay,
Proceed
boleh.
your
Thank
presentation.
you, Dr. Yanwa, for the
Okay, thank you.
introduction.
Screen is yours. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. I will share my screen, yeah.
Okay, please.
Okay. Share it first. Okay.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon to
Waalaikumsalam
all.
warahmatullahi.
Okay, as been mentioned by Dr. Yanwa, kalau nak cakap expert, if I'm expert, not really just a few tools that I know, so I just get to using a few tools, online tools. So with that tools, I would like to share. It's a simple tools, I guess. Semua boleh menggunakan the simple tools, especially for our synchronous class. Okay, so for my session. Okay, my session is about interactive of engaging synchronous online teaching approaches in eLEAP. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, most of us usually conduct our class live session instead of asynchronous because it's more easy. Compared to asynchronous, we need to prepare our slideshow, our video, so it takes a lot of time. Okay, but there are several problems when we try to do synchronous online teaching. So for synchronous online teaching, it's actually one of the option for facilitating connections and a sense of community between lecturers and students. Most of my students previously, sekarang pun like almost more than 1 year kita buat online teaching and learning. So most of our students, I guess your students as well, cakap rindu nak dapat kelas face to face because for online teaching, not all dapat adapt online teaching during this pandemic lah. Because one of the problems adalah internet connection and as well the environment in their home. Usually they will just want to go to UNIMAS, at least they can more focus to do learning. Okay, synchronous online teaching, this one. Okay, so when we try to do online session, okay, lecturer akan dapat masalah. One big problem when we do our online teaching class is where the students hesitant to participate in our online class, especially live session. Especially kalau kita minta, if we ask something, hope a common question, do you understand or not? Okay, semua senyap, everyone keep silent. So we just assume everything should be okay. But at the end, when we do some tests or quiz, then we know actually our student didn't understand at all. Yeah. So how we want to engage the student to make the student actively participate in our online teaching and learning. Okay, this is just a suggestion. Yeah. Okay. I just watched from one of the workshop from Professor Dr. Abdul alias. He's actually from USM and he's a director of a Center for Development of Academic Excellence, and he's really good, especially in e-learning, online teaching and learning. So he mentioned that if we want to have an engaging, synchronous online teaching, we need to have 3 elements. First is activity, second is closure, and the third one will be reflection. So activity, he mentioned that students will be guided and facilitated through a series of activities, okay, which has been designed to scaffold the knowledge towards achieving the learning outcomes. So sometimes we did activity just to have fun, but at the end, it doesn't relate with our course learning outcome. Macam ikut suka-suka lah, but it doesn't mean anything, just to make fun. Okay, but this activity, which has been mentioned by Prof. Karim, okay, this activity is being designed to scaffold the knowledge towards achieving CLO, our CLO. Okay, and then the second one, we go for the closure. So at the end of each activity, the lecturer, as you, okay, will need to provide a summary or a closure of the activity to clarify any doubt or any confusion or answering any questions from the students. Sometimes we just, please don't just let what activity and then done, okay? We need to have some time, okay? It's not like sometimes we do some quizzes, we do some a really simple quiz, something like that. But not all of our students could get a correct answer. So some of them might have a wrong answer. So as a lecturer, you need to explain, okay, why it is not this, why this answer is wrong, why this answer is right. So at least you need to explain it in more detail. So at least they didn't get any confusion. Because when the student got wrong, so it means that they have a different concept or different thinking or different idea in their mind, okay, although you just explained several times about that concept, yeah. So that's why lecture it's very important to have at least a brief summary about all of your activities. After you have finished all the activities, okay, each activity you need to explain it. What is this activity for? The right answer, the wrong answer, and then explain it in more details. So at the end of it, reflection. So the students will be required to make a reflection or summarize the essence of what they have learned in the session. Okay, so it's I can say it's a normal thing if we learn something new, and then we did some activity, and then at the end you need to reflect it again to make you remember what we have learned for the session or during that session. Sebab as you know, manusia mudah lupa. So it is an important important element, okay, reflection here, just to make sure, okay, what you have learned what they have learned during session give an impact to them. Okay, at least it's not, we didn't expect them to know all of what we have taught them or lecture them or give note. At least 1 or 3 points, okay, they remember what they have learned during your class. That should be okay. Daripada kosong, 0, 0, yeah. So for activity, I've been reading several of papers, several of research regarding on activity. They suggest the activities for the synchronous online teaching should start off as low stakes, yeah. Maksud dia, it's simple, okay. Don't give a really hard question, okay. maybe for today's session, it's about renewable energy. And then at the beginning of your session, either maybe you want to give some questions, really complex, about, okay, in biomass, something for example, yeah, in biomass conversion, what is the process to produce hydrogen? First question. So what do you expect from the students? Of course, they didn't know anything about it. Yeah. So that's why the activities should start with a really a simple activity. Okay. And then the activity will be increased along with the complexity once students become comfortable with sharing their opinions and ideas. So that I give some lists what are the activities which are really simple. Okay, so they suggest that maybe very simple, just emoji. Okay, because when you do the online or live session, okay, of course we will be using either Zoom, either Webex. Here we are using Webex, or maybe Google Classroom. I'm not so sure, or maybe you will be using Microsoft Teams. Yeah, all of the applications have emoji. Okay, right here the emoji. Maybe you can ask a really simple question at beginning, just to macam panaskan kereta, yeah, just to start off the yes, the problem is they're really shy. Tak tahu, maybe the Asian things, I'm not so sure, but they are really conservative. Okay, maybe they are not very keen, okay, to participate any of your lecture. Just keep quiet, just keep silent. But we don't know that, we don't want to do that. Yeah, so a simple activity, just maybe you can ask, how are you feeling today? Are you okay? Just give thumbs up in your emoji to make, I just want to make sure that you're okay. So everyone should be give thumbs up. At least they are there, yeah, because not all of our students will open the camera, okay? Because some studies saying that it's not, if they open their camera, it's like they are not very comfortable first. So when they are not very comfortable, they will be not comfortable to learn anything during that session. Yeah. So they are really okay, or they're comfortable, just turn off the camera. Okay. Since we didn't know either our student is there or not, at least their participation, we get to know they are really there in front of the computer and listening to our lecture. Okay, so the first activity, okay, simple activity, just give a thumbs up using the emoji in Webex or Microsoft Teams or Zoom. Okay, and the second, okay, maybe some of you have done or do using Mentimeter, but it's okay. Okay, all right. I will share you the Mentimeter. Since I'm talking, this session is about engaging, okay, interactive, synchronous online teaching. Okay, let us try some of the tools here. Okay, just try it on. Maybe you can use it during your online classes after this. Just just uh, just try it on and just see which one is suit for you. Okay, all right, so we go for Mentimeter. Yeah, so maybe you can use like this. Okay, during a lecture and during your slide, I'm using my PowerPoint slide here. Okay, all right, so just copy. Okay, just copy the link here and give it a chat. Right, so let's see. Okay, I've already copy and paste into our chat. So then I will open my Mentimeter here. Okay. right? So it's about online teaching and learning. I'm not so sure if you could open your Mentimeter here. Okay, can you open it? All right. Okay, let's maybe give like about 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, so as you can see here, okay, you can copy the link. Okay, it's already there, but I've just copy pasted into our slide presentation. And copy link here, and then you can paste into the chat box to your Webex or Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And then you can ask the students to participate in your apps here, tools here, which is Mentimeter. So the first thing is, what do you feel when it comes to online teaching and learning? So just a real quick, okay, just click on the Mentimeter here, and then you could type it on, and we'll hear it here. Right. So hope everyone could click on it and give it a try, whether it is easy to use Mentimeter. Because when you feel it does not comfortable to use it, then you will know your student will also not feeling good by using Mentimeter. Right? As you can see here, we have 4 people already join this Mentimeter and give response. Okay, and we can see, okay, during our class, so at the same time, okay, your student will always be participate, okay, will feel very anxious, okay, what the others would give response. Okay, and we can see that the lonely word is the bigger one, so it means that most of our response give same word. Okay, most of us feel very lonely. Okay, and at the same time, you also can explain why do you feel lonely. Okay, this is one way during your lecture, as well as explaining at the same time. It's not like waiting for 5 minutes and doing nothing. Okay, at the same time you can explain to the students. Okay, one-way communications, less personal connection. Okay, I can see that only the lonely is a really big words there, and the rest should be the same. Maybe just one response give a nervous, challenging. Yeah, clueless. Me too. Okay, clueless. Until now, I'm still clueless what kind of approach I need to do, I need to use during my online class. Then less engaging. Okay, less engaging. It's true. All right. Maybe after we have give like 5 minutes, maybe for like almost 100 people, 100 students, you maybe want to give more time for them to answer it. Yeah, because when your students, if your students are the first timer, just to make an engage or participate any online activity, they might have to take a little bit time to get used to it, to move their mouse around their laptop, just to type in, because before this they commonly, or they usually just sit down, listen, if they listen our lecture and do nothing. All right, some of us saying it's excited, yeah, and anxious, emotionless. Wow. All right, emotionless. So, okay, this is about the Mentimeter. All right, but okay, you actually can save your Mentimeter, or you can embed or your Mentimeter in your eLEAP page. Okay, so at least in your eLEAP page, they remember what are the first activity, what are the first lesson during the session. So I will go to the eLEAP. All right. Exit full screen first. Okay. I'll go to the eLEAP. Okay. I will show you on how to embed in your eLEAP. Okay. So here, okay, here are the live responses. Live responses. Yeah, respond. So actually, it is the same thing as our web page Mentimeter, but I embed the response here, okay, in the eLEAP. So how you want to embed in your eLEAP, okay, without, okay. Sometimes, usually we just put, this is usual approach when you do some things, basically doing the any online activity, you just put the link, okay. Right, let me turn editing on first. Okay, I will show you how you want to do to embed something like this. Okay, let me show you the usual way we did. Yeah, sorry. So add an activity or resources or resource. Usually we always put, okay, I will put, give you example by giving a link. So usually it's resource, okay. You can do it like this one, okay. It's not, there's no right or wrong, okay. It's just appearance, which one you like it better, okay. So if maybe you can put it, okay, I would like to give it more very clear what I'm doing this URL, because URL, as you can see, it's under resources. Yeah, it's not activity. So if you put activity, the description or the title of your URL as activity one, so maybe sometime you are tertanya-tanya lah, okay, how they calculate the BL status, the number of assessment, the number of activities. But if it's calculated automatically, the URL will be counted as resources. It's not activity unless, okay, unless we need to double check again, unless you already mentioned here is activity. So it will be counted as activity and not be counted as resources. So activity one, Mentimeter. I just give some example here, yeah. So enter URL. Okay, we go back to our Mentimeter here. Okay, as you can see here, they already have the link given here. So just copy link and go back to the flip page. Okay, and then just paste it. Right click, paste. Okay, all right. So that's it. Save and return to course. Let's see. All right. So here we go. Activity one, Mentimeter. If we click on it, it will directly to Mentimeter here. All right. Oops, yeah. Here we go. Enter a word, enter a word, enter a word. So I give it 3 words to give what do you feel when it comes to online teaching and learning. That's it. All right. But okay, how do you want to embed to share the results of the response? So first of all, okay, go back to your Mentimeter here. Okay. I need to go back to the page here. All right. Okay. This is the page here. And then on the top right here, tick share. Okay. As you can see here, there are presentation sharing. Okay. So who can access this presentation and the results? So everyone that has participated is, I can say it's just automatically setting, yeah. But okay, instead of copy the link, okay, you need to click embed live results. Okay, you can copy the link as well, and then we go the same method. Just copy the link into the URL, but they need to click on it, and it will go to another. It will open to new page to view the results. But now we want it to, we just view it in our eLEAP without opening another new page. Yeah. So after we have copied the embed code, go back to our eLEAP page. So I just put it here. So add on activity or resource. Maybe I'll put as a label here. Okay, a label. Okay, under resources as well, label. All right. So here you might want to mention it. This is our results. This is your response for our first activity. Maybe something like that. Oops. And then how you want to embed into your eLEAP, just click this one. Okay, this can say, I'm not so sure what it's called, but this symbol. Yeah. Okay, when you see the Mentimeter also, they have this symbol as well. Okay, embed symbol here. So in eLEAP, click this embed HTML symbol here. Click on it. All right. So it's kind of different coding here, but click at the end of the text and then Control V or just right click and paste as plain text. After you have pasted, and then click again on this HTML button, right? Wait for it, and ta-da! Okay, you already have the results. Then click Save and return to course. Okay, so I put it here. All right, so there you go. You have the results of the Mentimeter without open the new link or open the link and using the new page. Okay, so that's for the Mentimeter. So we continue again for the next tools. Okay, if you feel the Mentimeter is really simple and it's easier to handle, just continue or just use the Mentimeter. Yeah. And then we have another simple activities is using polling. Yeah, it's some kind of undi lah. Okay, polling in the Webex here. But I've already tried here. Okay. Okay. Can you? I'm not so sure either. You can see the polling. Okay. Let me put it polling here. All right. Can you see my screen here, which I'm writing here about the polling question. Okay, currently I'm writing, are you working at home or office? Okay, it's simple. So is that the answer? Office, at home, others. Right. So we open the poll here. All right. Now I'm just started the poll. Okay. How do you want to open the poll? Is actually.
Hafizah, sorry.
Yeah.
Minta maaf sebelum ke poll, pasal Mentimeter tadi, boleh saya interrupt sikit?
Boleh, no problem. Yeah.
Instead of Mentimeter ni biasa untuk macam brainstorming, right? Soalan-soalan, nak tanya respon pelajar. Saya pun baru tengok pustakaan. Adakah function dia yang lain lagi yang kita boleh explore Selain tanya how
boleh.
do you feel, dia punya respon seperti itu. Adakah yang lebih more detail, semacam kita boleh buat assessment ke atau apalah, saya tak berapa faham juga.
Oh, okay. Maybe you want to see dalam Mentimeter itu sendiri Sekejap,
Ada boleh, apa aja lah ada boleh
Okay.
bagi kita.
Alright. Boleh. So, for the first timer macam yang baru tengok, okay, function Mentimeter. Actually, there's a lot of function in Mentimeter here. So maybe, okay, first time, okay, maybe I just Google it first. The first interface, the first mukadimah dia, the first page of the Mentimeter. Okay, just type Mentimeter in the Google, okay, and Mentimeter here. So it's www.mentimeter.com. Click on it. Okay, Mentimeter is free. Just log in using any email, maybe Gmail, UNIMAS email pun boleh juga, anything. And then, first of all, after you have create your account, then you can click My Presentations here. Okay, so we need to click, okay, New Presentation. Okay, maybe you want to put it as first activity, first example lah. Okay, first example. So create presentation. Okay, takes time. Okay, so here we go. There are a lot of types yang boleh digunakan. Multiple choice pun boleh. So we give them a question and A, B, C, D. It depends on you. And then based on the given on the choices and their response, we will see, okay, berapa banyak, maybe they choose option 2. Okay, kita akan tengok. Maybe you will say, because the polling I'm writing as, okay, where are you working right now? Option 1, home. Option 2, office. Option 3, others. Then we just share this Mentimeter and let's see where are they right now. So if it's option 2, it means that a lot of them, option 2 is, we mentioned it's in office. So we know that they are likely in the office. So we know there's no problem in internet connection, something like that, yeah. But you can still give, okay, it depends on your question, because this question is really simple, okay. You can use Mentimeter to give a really complex question. Maybe you can mention that, okay, okay, because I'm most usually I'm teaching about the chemical processes. So maybe I'm mentioned that based on your opinion, select which process is suitable for biomass gasification, biomass pump empty fruit bunch, something like that. So it's more critical questions, yeah. And then the word cloud, okay, as we've been earlier, we have do some example for word cloud here, okay. So it's cloud, okay. Open-ended question, something like this. What would you like to say? So this is open-ended. Just give a question. Okay, this is more complex. Either just, okay, right, before this we put it as ABC, just one word response, we using one word. But right now, open-ended, we would like them to explain a little bit more in details. Yeah, so it become more complex. So that's why the complexity depends on your question. Okay, and then the scales here as well. Scales is actually the same as the multiple choice as well. You can see which one they would prefer. Is it statement 1, 2, or 3? And then ranking, okay, Q&A, what is your opinion, something like that. So there are a lot of, I can see here, more than 10, okay. Oops. Okay, the Webex polling here is saying that it's 15 seconds, it's okay. So in Mentimeter as well, there's a lot of questions. So it depends on you how you want to create your question. Is it just a simple questions or you want to make it more complex? But there's a lot of types of question that you can create to make it more interactive. Okay, hopefully
Okay.
it
Okay.
your
Thank you,
question.
Doctor. There's a lot,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. So it's simple. Kalau memang dah suka sangat tu, just go for it and just
Yes,
discover
yes.
one by one. Yeah, it's
Okay.
simple.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So, okay, no problem. So for the Webex polling, not so sure if I can see it. Okay, polling here. Okay, okay, we have several of let me share the results here. If you if you want to see the poll results, actually, okay, on the on the right bottom, okay, around here on your Webex, ada 3 titik. Just click on that, and there's a polling there. Just click on it, okay. Then you can see the poll results. So I can see only 3. We have 8 people response. So 5 of them are working at home, and 3 of them are working at in the office. Okay, so that's a simple activity. So we go for, okay, that is for the Mentimeter is external tools. Webex is actually there are tools in here, and e-voting is actually in our eLEAP. Okay, so here we go for our eLEAP. We have e-voting as well in eLEAP. So here, sama juga. The question is the same as previous. Oh, no. All right. The question is, have you heard about synchronous online teaching and learning? Okay. You can share the QR code here, or you can share the link. Okay. Want to share the link? Actually, you can click both. All right. And copy paste it. The link here. Okay. I will copy paste it in our chat box here. All right. So although you are not in my eLEAP, but you still can access this e-polling, yeah? So have you heard about synchronous online teaching and learning? If yes, you can click number 1. If you never heard it before, you can click it number 2. All right? So, but don't forget to click start. If you didn't click start, the polling will not be conducted. So there's stop here. So you are the one that can control the polling activity, the process, whenever you want to start it or whenever you want to stop it. All right. All right. So we have several of 1 vote, 2 votes. Okay. So something like this. So you actually can monitor the live results here during your synchronous online teaching and learning. All right. Okay. So at least I'm just giving you some introductions. What are the tools that you can use during your online classes? So we have introduced you external tools, also tools in Webex, and also tools in our eLEAP here. So how you want to search for this e-polling here? Okay, let me go back to our eLEAP page here. Actually, it is under here. Okay, add an activity as usual, and then e-polling is actually it's under activities category. You can see the e-polling. See, it's not e-polling, sorry, e-voting here. So it's really simple. Just click on it. Okay, name the poll activity 2, maybe like that. Yes or no. You can give it more good title, yeah. So questions. Okay, questions 1. Okay, you can add more than 1 questions, but I just put 1 question here. Are you hungry? All right. Are you hungry? So here we can see the disclaimer mark here. So it means that you need to provide at least 2 choice or 2 answer. So you can put it yes, and you can put it no. You can make it correct or right answer, but for now, there's no right or wrong answer, so I didn't click any this button. So I'm done. Save and return to course. That's it. As simple as that, yeah? So here it goes. Yep. Activity 2, yes or no. All right. So that's how you want to add e-voting here. Okay. So we go to the next one. Okay. After we have done some cloud here, using Mentimeter, using polling, using voting, then we can do some quiz. Yeah. Then we can get a little bit more complex. It's not as simple as previous, but we can get more complex. I will, since it's already 3:30 right now, I will not go in details for Kahoot. Maybe I will share you this new one tools. It called as Nearpod. All right. It's similar with Kahoot, but I will explain the difference between Kahoot quizzes and Kahoot here is almost similar, but the Nearpod is a little bit different. So I will share this link to you, and let's see either you like it or not. If you like it, just continue and have a try in your class. All right. I paste it here. Okay, I've already copy and paste to our chat box. And all right, let's see. Okay, oops, maybe I need to, yeah, because right now I couldn't open thing. Okay, Nearpod. All right. Maybe it takes a time. All right, here you go. So Nearpod is kind of attractive as well. It's a live participation. It's also almost the same as Kahoot. It needs to have a live session. It cannot be done by using asynchronous. So we click on live session, yeah? So are we using the same thing here? Right. Okay. All right. So if you have clicked the link, okay, if you have clicked the link that I have copied and paste into the chat box, okay, you may answer it. Okay, right. Since right now we still waiting for the players, so players will be you. Okay. All right. We have here waiting for students to sign in. Right. We have one participants to join in. Right. It's still connected right now. All right. Give it like 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, you can see here. Okay, you can see there's someone who are waiting here. Okay, some players already joined in, but we need to wait for maybe 2 or 3 more participants. Okay, we have another participants joining in, but maybe right now, because when you join it, you need to choose your avatar, because the name of this activity is climb. Yeah, if I know it's climb, yeah, climb. Time to climb, right? So maybe we will wait another one more to go. At least there's some competition here. Okay, waiting for players. Let's see, because right now it's just one player. Maybe you could click start on it. All right. Okay, we have 3. Okay, Cairo, Tomarini, Dr. Saliani. Okay, we have 3. Okay, just okay. We give some example here. So we start a game right now. Okay, 3. It's more interactive. So then if all of students already participate, then you can click start game. Okay, when you click start, okay, you can hear some music. All right. Okay. So question 1, where is the location of UNIMAS? Okay, I can see here you go. 2 people going up. And then the second question, how many departments in Faculty of Engineering in UNIMAS? So here we go. Okay, someone has left behind and the other 2 is up there. And the last question will be, how many faculties in UNIMAS? Okay, how many faculties in UNIMAS? And then you can see here. Okay, you can see they are running up. Then, all right. Oh, I'm sorry, the 4th player didn't make it. So the first one I didn't have. Okay, the first one, Dr. Marini, Tahniah Dr. Marini, okay, Dr. Sal, Khairul, and Amal. Okay, so Amal, sorry Amal, tak sempat tadi Amal. Okay, so here are some of activities instead of Kahoot. Okay, let me close it. Okay, so that is how you use Nearpod. If some of you have done using Kahoot, okay, if you just remember Kahoot, if you want to use Kahoot, the student need to open another page just to click to respond the answer. But the question they need to check it ataupun they need to refer it back to the lecturer slide, okay, ataupun the lecturer screen. So if the student doesn't have 2 devices, okay, quite tedious lah. Okay, just go back and refer again to the lecturer screen and then go back to their screen just to respond whether they want to choose A, B, C, D. Okay, so for this Nearpod, okay, for Nearpod, all the question and the answer is in the student screen. So they didn't need to go back and refer back to the lecturer screen just to double check what is the question before they could answer. So there are pros and cons. Kahoot is actually interesting as well because they have a really good music as well, good sounds, same as quizzes. So Nearpod is another different thing, yeah. Okay, then once your student become like, okay, more engaging, more like lively, then you can start, okay, you know your students already comfortable with participating. Then you can start your students to just give some details, okay? Give more explanation or ask your students to verbally summarize or to compare or any of the activity here. Something like for polling, e-voting here. Okay, why most of people's working at home and why it's not in the office? Okay, maybe you can ask students give their opinions why most of us are working at home and not in the office. But okay, remember, if we call the students here, maybe I need to put bigger one. Okay, if we call students and there are click time, okay, click time is a silent time. We don't want to have a silent time and then we just assume everything is okay. Just consider thoughtfully calling on students, okay, if the wait time and silence becomes uncomfortable. But okay, it's already been a research as well. It's been suggested that you need to prepare the students to expect that you will call on them. Okay, maksud dia, you need to maybe in the introduction or the first session, you might need to have some briefing. What will be in your class? What will you do if there's silent moment? Okay, but you need to call them in a way that is flexible and kind, yeah. So it means that because sometimes students feel like, why their name always been called by the lecturers, something like that. So there's two. I give it two application here, which is randomly selection. Okay, you can select your student names here, because when you select it using the tools, first of all, it is a little bit interesting, and it is more random. Okay, more random, and it depends. It is actually depends on the tool itself or the apps itself. So the student feel more, I can say it's more relaxed, yeah. Compare that you just calling them macam tu je. Okay, so I will give some example wheel of names here. Okay, maybe this is wheel of names. Maybe I should. This is how you want to search it in the Google. Just type it wheel of names, and then here you go. The top search here. Okay, wheel of names, and then click that. Okay, it's free, and actually you can save the name of your not lecturer, or of your student here. Okay, some of us, okay, since some of us has like 100 plus students, so it's not like if 100 plus, maybe it didn't look good because it will be really tiny. Okay, maybe you can do it as group 1, group 2, group 3. Yeah. So how you want to do it? Okay. Just delete it. Group 1, and then just copy paste it. Okay. I just put it until group 5, yeah. 4 and 5. All right. Actually, you can save it, right? Save it. And then you can name it as a group number, or you can put it as a group number for KNC, my course code done. So I just save. So every time I have class with a group, class for KNC 4253, I can open here. Okay, actually I have 3 different groups right now. I just choose one of them. Okay, right now I just want to do a group activity, so I open it. So group, okay, can shuffle it, and then maybe you want to say, okay, what is the meaning of renewable energy? Anybody else want to volunteer? If there's no one, okay, right now I will click the wheel of name to choose who will be the luckiest one to give the answer. So click on it. All right. So there you go. Who's the luckiest one? It's group 4. So group 4, okay, so there's some sound here. Okay. So group 4, okay, you need to give some answer. Okay, that's simple as that. Okay, but for me, I would like to call it one by one, and my students just about 40 plus. So how you want to add your students, name of students in your wheel of names there without typing one by one of their name. So actually you can go to your eLEAP, okay, click on your courses. Okay, right now it's courses KNC 4283 here. Okay, this one. All right, you click on it, and then it's actually last semester. Okay, so you can click the participants here on the left hand side of your eLEAP page. Right, and then you will see a lot. I can see the whole name of your students. Yeah, and then select all 53 users here. Right. Okay. And then, right, it's already choose here, but some of our names, lecturers' name are here, but it's okay. You can remove later. So with selected users, choose, okay, choose download the as Microsoft Excel. Okay, when it's been downloaded here, just open it. Open the Excel file. Should be wait, like takes a while to open my Microsoft file. All right, here. Right, as you can see here, okay, my name and Dr. Josephine are here because we are the lecturers of this course. So just click starting from here until here. All right, and then just copy it. Right click, copy. Then we go to this one, right? Just want to delete this. Okay. Then right click and paste it as plain text. So done. So here you go. Here is the list of all your students. This is like 45 students, yeah. So you can save it. Just put it students SEM2, something like that. At least you don't forget to what is the list for. So and then same thing again. Just shuffle it. Okay, who is the luckiest one to give the answer or to explain? Then here you go. It's Janatul Najiha. Okay, that's it. So at least the student will be waiting, anxious to give the answer. So they will be wide awake. Okay, rather than just keep silent and do nothing. Yeah. So we already at 3:46 right now. I guess I just give one of the tools here, should be okay. And okay, we'll just proceed just one more slide. Wheel of names. No hands is actually as the same as the wheel of names, but instead of in website, it's actually we need to download it. But it's okay as long as the purpose is the same. You can go for the wheel of names, right? So and again, for each activity, you need to give a closure. As a lecturer, you need to give a closure. Write it, explain it in more details, what they have explained, added more information. There is no right or wrong of the questions, of their answers or questions. So just give more details. After you have done the closure, and then they need to do the reflection. Yeah. So to do the reflection as well, this is a suggestion. Padlet is also a good tool for the student to have like open-ended questions. Yeah, open-ended questions here. So open-ended questions is actually okay. I will give you, this is the last activity here. I will share it in the chat box here. So in our eLEAP, okay, we actually have the Padlet already embedded in this eLEAP page. The same method I have used when we embedded the Mentimeter in the eLEAP. Yeah. So here you go, the reflection. The reflection is saying that what have you learned in this session, or have you learned something, or what is the difficult topics you need to understand. So here the students will give some open-ended questions. It's not like one or two answers. So feel free if you want to add it. So if you want to add it, just click plus here. Subject is about online teaching. Okay, write something. I know several interesting tools. All right, and then publish. So there we go. Instead of clicking and then go to the new page, you can observe, you can monitor it into your eLEAP page by embed the Padlet in your eLEAP. So right now, I learn many tools to make our online class more interesting. Thank you. Yeah, thank you to you too. So hopefully, hopefully several tools I've introduced to you, you can make it useful. And it doesn't mean that more apps you use is become more good or better. But if you use or focus just one tools like maybe Mentimeter, because Mentimeter there's a lot of I can say there's a lot of function there. If you focus on it, just Mentimeter, it actually give you a good result or good interactive session as well. Yeah. So don't make the students get more confused with more tools. Maybe as long as you're comfortable, which tools are you using? Just focus on that specific tools. All right. So all right. I guess that's all for my sessions. So there are like 10 more minutes. If you have any question and answer, it's not question answer, it's question.
Thank you, Dr. Hafizah, for your very informative and useful presentation. Any question from our colleague here regarding the tool that Dr. Hafizah just explained or other related function lah in eLEAP? Ada? Maybe before we close our session. Okay, let me start with me, Dr. Hafizah. Sometimes I'm confused untuk aktiviti ni kan. Karena in blended kita ada 3 komponen atau kriteria tu kan. Resources kita tahulah itu related to material, link kemudian apa lagi yang kedua aktiviti aktiviti macam tadi itulah interaction dengan student. Kalau reflection yang kita kena buat tu, kalau kita guna forum yang dalam eLEAP tu consider activity atau tidak? It can be considered as the forum.
Forum usually, let me double check. Usually I just focus kat sini. Okay. Kalau forum, I click on activities. Okay, kalau forum, it falls under activities.
Masuk Tapi saya katakan untuk reflection boleh? Artinya saya bagi macam topik that you conclude from our class or the end of the topic. Ini macam tu boleh?
Boleh. Boleh. Just click on the forum. Okay, for example, forum. Maybe kat sini, activity. Selalunya I suggest tulis sama ada activity, either activity ataupun resources ataupun assessment. Supaya nanti kalau pengiraan blended learning nanti, so memang sudah in details and specific these tools, forum kita guna as activity. So activity 3 we put is reflection, something like that lah.
Okay,
reflection. So description maybe macam tadi, what have you, lah. Alright. Then I love to use a single simple discussion. So semuanya satu, but you can try and error. Macam mana Q&A forum, it doesn't suit, tak sesuai lah kalau nak buat reflection, tak ada question. Jadi kita tengok satu-satu. This one kita kena try and error, which one suitable for our topic, gunakan sahaja. Okay, but I love use a single simple discussion. Kadang-kadang tengok standard forum for general use, not so sure lah, but I use this single simple discussion. And then just if you want to set availability, maksud dia reflection, of course kita nak reflect for that topic only. So kita boleh set the deadline, due date dia bila. Maybe this topic is for this week, which is until berapa bulan? 6, 7, 8, 9. Until this Friday, 29. So 29 October until pukul 2 PM. Deadline. So that's it. So students will not be able to post any forum after 2 PM on this Friday. So save and return. Tapi if you don't want to put any deadline, just click it enable here, macam tu je. Tapi kalau nak deadline, just click on the enable and save and return to course.
Okay.
Macam tu je. So it's very simple. So ada activity tree reflection here.
See. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hafizah. Okay, ada lagi? Is there any question from others? Banyak soalan. Hafizah dekat sini. Kita boleh tanyalah macam-macam ni.
Just let me know if you have any problems. InsyaAllah as soon as possible akan mereply email ya. Harap maaf kalau terlambat tu.
Iya. Kena bersabar ya, yang hantar email.
Sabar.
Semua akan dapat jawaban. Okey, ada lagi? Okey. Tiada, maybe I think that's all for our session this afternoon. Thank you again for our speaker, Dr. Nordiana Rajaee, Dr. Hafizah Abdul Halim, and all of the participants today. Hopefully we can improve lah our teaching and learning activities and can achieve a better blended learning achievement in our faculty. Okay, kalau demikian, I think the end of our session. Thank you again for all of the speaker, audience and others. Saya minta maaf kalau ada salah silap. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.